Coming up on OU Nightly, the OU community is mourning following the loss of former President David Boren. We're taking a look back at his life and his impact on the university. And police continue to search for answers after one teen was left in critical condition from a fight on Campus Corner. How you may be able to help with the investigation.
And finally, getting a break from the bitter cold here in Oklahoma, I'll have your full forecast. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Abigail Franklin.
And I'm Julia Roberts. We begin tonight with the breaking news.
A Cleveland County judge has ruled that the petition is invalid that called for a vote of the people on the public financing of the proposed Rock Creek Entertainment District.
Norman City Council previously approved the creation of a tax increment finance district to fund the project, but a grassroots movement gathered over 10,000 signatures for a chance to vote on the use of taxpayer funds for the project developments.
The judge's ruling, allowed for the billion-dollar project to use up to $600 million of taxpayer funds for this development.
Supporters of the petition have said they will appeal to a higher court if they lose. OU Nightly will follow the story further.
In some other news, early Thursday morning, former U.S. Senator and OU President David L. Boren passed away. OU Nightly's Michael Buchanan is live on campus taking a look at the impact he left on OU, the United States, and the world. Michael.
Yeah, and with over 50 years of public service, Boren's legacy is a complex one, evoking memories of both leadership and controversy. He was a popular governor, and after serving one term, he announced a bid for the U.S. Senate. During the campaign, an opponent alleged that Boren was secretly gay. In denying the allegations, Boren swore on a Bible that he was not.
I further swear that I am not a homosexual or a bisexual. I further swear that I have never been.
Oklahomans elected him to the Senate by a large margin in 1979. During his tenure, one of the most influential Republicans of that era, Barry Goldwater, proclaimed that Senator Boren should be president.
I think the American people understand what has gone on in South Africa. And the American people, regardless of party or position on other issues, are not about to relieve the pressure until that system is changed.
And Boren resigned his Senate seat in 1994 to become president at the University of Oklahoma. OU was perceived to be a stagnant state university when he took over. He succeeded in changing that perception. Boren successfully recruited top faculty and staff, including athletic director Joe Castiglione. And when the university faced national scrutiny in 2015 after members of an OU fraternity recorded themselves singing a racist song, Boren acted quickly. He kicked the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity off campus and instituted mandatory diversity training across the university.
Real Sooners are not bigots. Real Sooners are not racists. Real Sooners believe in equal opportunity. Real Sooners treat each other with respect. Real Sooners love each other and care for each other like members of a common family.
Boren's career at the University of Oklahoma ended in 2018.
Serving as your president has been the most rewarding period of my life.
His retirement came after a 23-year run as president. Shortly thereafter, allegations emerged that he sexually harassed male subordinates. New OU president Jim Gallagly paid a prominent Washington, D.C. firm to investigate. Its findings were turned over to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, but no charges were ever filed. Yeah, and Boren's statue still stands on campus, as does the College of International Studies named after him. While his legacy is complex, both allies and enemies agree that he is a giant in Oklahoma history. Abby, Julia.
Thanks, Michael. It has been a long week with the below freezing winter And it's been ice and snow, but we're finally back on campus, and it's still pretty cold outside.
That's absolutely right. It's been such a whirlwind, but the good news is OU Nightly meteorologist Carlin McCreary is in studio today. Carlin, you got to give us some good news here. Is relief on the way?
Yeah, it's safe to say I do have some good news on the way. Temperatures are going to be on the increase this weekend, even into next week. But right now, still on the chillier side with temperatures in the upper 20s, 27 in Norman, a little bit warmer in the Panhandle. That's eventually going to make its way down into our area. So let's recap a little bit. Over the past few days, we had well below freezing temperatures from Wednesday until Friday. And once again, we really do have a relief on the way with a warm up into next week. I'll have your weekend forecast and I'll talk about the sunshine on the way coming up next, ladies.
All right, thanks, Carlin. Look forward to hearing about it. Still here in Norman, a fight happened outside the wagon on Saturday, and police are looking for a witness. The fight happened between an 18-year-old and a bouncer between 1:30 and 3 a.m. Officers went to Norman Regional Hospital Healthplex looking for potential witnesses. As of now, there is no update on the 18-year-old, but he is in critical condition with a severe brain bleed. The manager of the wagon said there are no cameras outside of the building for any footage of the fight.
Today, the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in December arrived in New York for his hearing. Reagan Garvin has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Julia, Luigi Mangione arrived at the courthouse today dressed in green and a bulletproof vest. Take a look at this. Supporters of Mangione lined the hallway outside the courtroom, many dressed in green to show their support. Images of Mangione can be found projected onto buildings and trucks, accompanied by the words "Free Luigi." The next hearing is scheduled for June 26th. And over 6,000 IRS employees were fired yesterday, raising concerns for the upcoming tax season. The deadline for most to file their taxes by is April 15th. The National Treasury Employee Union says the firing could reduce customer service availability. And some accountants warn tax refunds may come late this year. The Trump administration says it would like to effectively abolish the IRS. And Israel's military says Hamas failed to return the body of a deceased hostage yesterday. The body of Shiri Bibas was supposed to be returned with her 5- and 2-year-old sons. Hamas claimed in November 2023 that the Bibas family was killed in an airstrike, but Israeli officials believe they were executed.
I vow that I will not rest until the savages who executed our hostages are brought to justice. They do not deserve to walk this earth. Nothing will stop me. Nothing.
He also says the country is united in grief and Hamas will pay the full price for this. And the Associated Press is suing 3 Trump administration officials over access to presidential events, citing freedom of speech as their grounds for suing. Abigail, Julia.
Thanks, Reagan. Well, outside of his power, that's what one Oklahoma official is saying in a lawsuit filed against Governor Kevin Stitt. Find out who is taking aim at the governor and how he's responding to it next.
Plus, competitors by night, but now partners by day. Local brewers in Norman are coming together. That story coming up next when OU Nightly returns. Oklahoma Representative Andy Fugate files a lawsuit against Governor Kevin Stitt. This is in regards to an executive order filed by the governor directing state agencies to require full-time employees to return to in-office work. In the lawsuit, Fugate argues that Stitt is attempting to create law with the executive order, which is outside of his power. In a statement, Stitt responds by calling his action typical big government Democrat behavior, arguing that state employees work for the taxpayer and that employees are more productive and accountable when they are working in the office. Fugate wants a both temporary and permanent injunction to prevent the enforcement of the executive order.
A group of independent craft brewers in Norman have formed an alliance to overcome the challenges that face small business owners. Ethan Davis has the story.
For some people, beer is just something to enjoy socially, but for others, it's a way of life. Craft brewing is a growing scene nationally, and Norman is no stranger to it. If you find yourself walking down Main Street, you may run into a few of these craft breweries, and they all have something unique to offer.
Craft breweries are exciting because each one has an ability to create something different than what you might get from a giant retailer that's nationwide or worldwide.
The craft brewing scene in Norman is alive and well, with 4 breweries on Main Street, all within walking distance of each other. Instead of viewing one another as competition, they all come together to promote each other's businesses and welcome more people to the world of craft beer.
Just that collaborative effort, that community that we are involved with, that we love to support and cultivate, kind of is created here in Norman with the brewers. So just seeing everybody coming together like Beer and Tines or Brewtoberfest, doing something that brings the beer community together and doing something for a common cause.
By joining forces, these breweries are not only boosting their own businesses, but also shaping Norman into a true craft beer destination one pint at a time. From Norman, Ethan Davis, OU Nightly.
Still ahead, a feature film is hitting the big screen tonight, made by students right here in Gaylord Hall.
We'll have information on the red carpet world premiere when OU Nightly continues.
And welcome back. Happy Friday. It's been chilly outside. We still have some patches of snow looking out on Highway 9. That's because those temperatures are still in the upper 20s right now. We do have clouds sneaking in across the skyline right now. It feels like temperatures across the region still the same trend near Oklahoma, Texas, up in Kansas. A lot cooler up there is what we're seeing. So far, we've seen our minimum temperatures breaking records for the 19th on Wednesday. We've not seen 13 on the 19th yet, and we did see that this past Wednesday as well as Thursday with 22 degrees. So we've stayed well below average so far this month in February, but things are about to change around here as we do have temperatures on the rise over the next few days. For tonight, lows are going to be in the teens for a lot of us, 19 for Oklahoma City, 14 up in Eden near the Panhandle, about the same trend in the teens. This is still well below average for what we usually see this time of year. But once again, big changes on the way as we head into the rest of the weekend and into the earlier part of next week. 70 degrees by Tuesday. You can get outside by Tuesday and not have to wear any types of long sleeve, any coats. It's going to feel very nice for the beginning of this week, and we're going to steadily warm up over the next few days. And also what we're looking ahead on is we're going to have temperatures right around average for this time of year over the next 8 to 14 days. So above average temperatures are going to stick around into the western part of the United States over to our east, well below average temperatures again over there. But once again, we're going to be sticking around the same temperatures that we usually do see this time of year for the central part of the United States. So over the next few days, I really want to kind of zone in on the forecast. So this weekend, sunshine is going to stick around. It's going to be very sunny. We're going to slowly warm up into the earlier part of next week, 70 degrees by Tuesday. Wednesday, it's going to be windy, 65 degrees. So once again, take a look. We had temperatures in the teens this past week, and we're going to see temperatures in the 70s next week. So just a beautiful forecast on the way with sunshine that's going to hang out until the parts of next week. So it's really going to be beautiful outside. I'm going to make sure to get out and enjoy it, especially as we have the sunshine, the warmer temperatures. It's going to feel like spring, which is kind of crazy at this point considering what we saw last week, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Great warm up. Glad to hear it. Yes. Well deserved, I think, in my opinion.
It's looking like a great forecast. Thank you so much, Carlin. So
sold out. Sorry. Don't want to steal that one from you. Sold out. That's exactly what Green Light Production announced only 6 days after tickets were put on sale for their new movie, Neon. Go ahead.
The movie is first full-length feature film produced right here in Gaylord College. Students in the Green Light Practicum says Neon is a major milestone for their careers.
And if you have a ticket, don't forget the movie premieres tonight.
Doors opened at 6 and the movie begins at 7 at the Regal Warren and more.
All right, well, coming up on Big Friday Sports, the son of a former heavyweight champion is looking to make his own legacy as a Sooner.
And Vanderbilt couldn't handle their beers last night. Sports has all the details coming up.
Welcome to Big Friday Sports. I'm Aiden Tyler, and I'm joined by Hallie McPherson. The OU women's basketball team hits the road Sunday to face Arkansas, Hallie.
But they also played last night against Vanderbilt, and OU Nightly sports reporter Landon Thomas has that game recap.
Even with the ice-cold temperatures here in Norman over the past few days, number 16 OU women's basketball came in red hot against Vanderbilt in the 101-81 win. Head coach Jenny Baranchek knew the challenge ahead of them as they faced freshman sensation Michaela Blakes, but knew the answer was two simple words.
Tonight was fun. That's fun basketball. It's fun basketball to play and fun basketball to watch when you're setting each other up, and it's even across the board. 16, 13, 16. That's fun. I had 20-something assists. That's fun. That's fun basketball. And so when you get to play that, and when you get to experience that and watch it, it's fun for everyone at the gym. And so if we can continue to do that, set the tone offensively, as Skylar, like Jenny said, set the tone for rebounding. Continue to do those little things. We're gonna be good.
I think they were also having more fun. I think we pressed in the first half of Missouri, and we still had some production, and Missouri's good, but there was definitely a shift in terms of we can't want it so bad, and you can sometimes see that, right? You want it so bad, and this team, we found the balance of you still got to show up, you still got to be accountable, you still got to be disciplined, you still got to be steady, but you have to have fun doing it, because otherwise, what's the point?
Oklahoma will next travel to Arkansas to face the Razorbacks on Sunday at 2 p.m. in search for their 9th conference win. Reporting from Lloyd Noble Center, Landon Thomas, OU Nightly.
And the Sooner men's team hits the hardwood tomorrow at noon as they try to put the Mississippi State Bulldogs on a leash. Porter Mosier's squad has lost 5 straight, but senior forward Jalen Moore says this tough stretch does not reflect the Sooner squad's effort.
We got a group of guys who come in every day and work. Just because we lost a couple games or it's on a losing streak, that's not the character of this team. The character of this team is that we're resilient, and regardless of what we go through when adversity hit, and that's life. Life isn't always going to go good. So when adversity hit, you still got to show up and do your work and be the same guy and be an everyday guy.
And replacing the hardwood with mats and beams, the #1 OU women's gymnastics team hosts 5th-ranked Florida tonight. OU Nightly sports reporter Darby McCormick is live at the Lloyd Noble Center with more.
OU Women's Gymnastics is trading Tigers for Gators at 7:45 in the LNC. And the Sooners are looking to bounce back from their first regular season loss in 718 days. KJ Kindler is sure that the team will respond.
Especially with some of our strongest athletes. So, they're feeling it a little bit. But it's okay. I'm really actually in reflection thinking that this experience last weekend is going to propel them forward in many different ways.
And by the way, since Kindler came to Norman, the Sooners are 151-4 inside the LNC. And if this meet ends tonight with an OU victory, it'll be the program's 900th win. Yes, I said that correctly. Reporting from inside the Lloyd Noble Center, Darby McCormick, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Darby. Many collegiate wrestling teams are strong, really strong, but not many of them have the son of a wrestling Hall of Famer on the team. The son of the world's strongest man now enters college with an equally strong plan. OU Nightly's Andrew West has the story.
In the middle of a 51-year national championship drought, OU Wrestling is fighting to add another one to the trophy case. The easiest way to do that? Go get a guy like the world's strongest man. Or in Oklahoma's case, you go get his son.
Jacob Henry was born with wrestling in his DNA. After all, he's the son of WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry. And while that may be good for publicity, to Jacob, he's a whole lot more than that.
When I was little, I admired him and I respected him and I wanted to be like him. But he told me I have to carve my own path. You got to be independent. You don't want to be known as Mark Henry's son. And that's kind of my motivation in my everyday life and everything I do.
While Jacob looks to build his own brand, he still wants to follow in his father's footsteps, which means someday winning the same World Heavyweight Championship his dad brought home when he was a kid.
My dad brought that championship title home, and I got to hold it. It was too big to actually even fit in my hands. If I was able to bring the championship home and let him hold it, and it's my championship, I don't even think words could describe how that would feel.
While his future plans point towards the WWE, his heart and his priorities currently reside in Norman.
I don't think I've ever been so drawn to a place in my life. When Oklahoma played Temple this year and getting to watch those guys run out of the tunnel and hearing the Boomer Center chant, it brought tears to my eyes because you really get to see how special this university is.
Watching from the stands wasn't good enough for Jacob as he announced his return to the field next fall, all thanks to a call he'd been waiting for.
I miss football for sure. I could say that openly and out loud. If Venables wants to give me a call, if Coach Bates or Coach Penenbaugh or whoever, if they want to give me a call, I'm more than willing to put the pads back on.
And while he gets hyped up for other programs, Jacob has one goal while suiting up in the Crimson and Cream, achieving something that hasn't been done in half a century.
Winning a national championship, I can't even imagine. That would be insane. I'd be so happy. To think to win a national championship, I can't even imagine the emotions, but that's what this team is working towards, and we believe in that.
At the end of the day, Jacob Henry, just like his dad, was born to be a champion. Reporting from McCaslin Fieldhouse, Andrew West, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Andrew. And the OU baseball team just finished up in Round Rock with their game against Minnesota. Find out the results coming up.
It's been cold outside, but the four-peat national champs are bringing the heat. Stick around for the details up next. The sun is out this weekend, and so is OU softball with a packed schedule at Love's Field. The number 2 ranked Sooners open up their tournament tomorrow, swinging through until Monday.
Yeah, the Sooners look to weather the storm against the Tulsa Golden Hurricane tomorrow, and they'll look to avoid shock against Wichita State Sunday, and they face Bowling Green and Abilene Christian on Monday.
And OU baseball just stepped off the field in Round Rock, Texas against Minnesota, and Kyson Witherspoon cleared the plate with 12 strikeouts in 7 innings, resulting in a 3-2 win. The Sooners continue in Texas against Oregon State tomorrow at 4.
Well, thank you so much for watching Big Friday Sports. I'm Aiden Tyler.
And I'm Hallie McPherson. Be sure to watch OU Nightly weekdays live at 4:30. Good night.